Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 37. Just look at it all. Remember where it all started? Just a couple smelters, miners, and that's it. And now we are building a Dyson sphere, with a massive factory behind it all, spanning multiple star systems. This is the beauty of these kinds of games. Right around where the game officially ends, I like to look back at the start of it, and reflect just how far we've come. But I'm babbling. Today's episode will have a pretty big milestone. This is the day when we get rid of our unwelcome neighbors. I did say that there was a hint in one of the outro clips of the last video, and that was the absence of the hive. I tested it, and we can easily deal with it in our current state, so that's what we will do. Before we get started, I would love it if you subscribe to the channel, and clicking the like button will let me know that this video was worth making. If you want to help me make a living off this one day, please consider becoming a channel member, where you will get an early access to the videos as I make them, and for a one-time donation, you can find a link to my Ko-fi page in the description. But enough talking, let's get into it. So, as I've said, I did not make you sit through the construction of that magnetic coil factory, but we still need to add a couple things to make it complete, like the towers and a couple inserters. So, we had to jump back to Juno to restock, and then go back again to place them down. We are missing the drones from the last tower. We didn't have enough to fill it up, but it's not really necessary. The assemblers will get their components from Vulcan. But I included them in the blueprints, just in case. Before we moved on, I went around and picked up the depleted miners. We had a few littering the place. Well, time to place down the third manufacturing center of this planet, which will be the gears. We just need to find an intersection of the prime meridian lines that is sufficiently free from obstructions. And this one looks pretty okay to me. The last one does have a few miners blocking further development, so we either wait for those to go away, or we start setting up the fourth center a bit off from the intersection point, and just expand them later on. We won't get there today, but there are options we can go for. Anyways, this is a pretty big construction, so let me speed things up for a bit. Since the local power grid was so overloaded, I decided to upgrade it with a couple extra microsuns. Now, I don't really remember. Did I place these in a proper episode, or did I do it during that mining timeskip? I think it was during the timeskip. I don't think I've seen these during editing. Well, I think it's time we did what I said we will do in the intro, and launch an all-out assault on the local dark fog hive. Before I left, I picked up all the destroyers we had, just in case I would need them. The secret to this is to keep your distance. Send the destroyers in first, and once they attracted the attention of the enemy ships, you can go in to do a bit of extra damage. And don't expect to do this without losses. You will lose a lot of ships, and that's fine. Just think of it as any other industrial investment. If you think about it, we are spending the materials to boost the power output of the sphere right now. Sooner or later, the enemy numbers will start thinning out, after which you can turn your attention to the main structure. From that point on, it's just a matter of time before it all goes away for good. I thought we would need to upgrade the number of fleets we have to the maximum before we could attempt to do something like this, but apparently not. It would definitely make it go faster if we had more ships, that's for sure, but this is fine too. And the hive core goes boom. Once the auxiliary structures are gone, the Olympus system will be officially dark fog free. At least for now. I'm sure they will try to reseed it at some point. There. We are free from this scourge, and the hive no longer leeches any power off our Dyson sphere. Sure, they didn't do all that much damage all things considered, but still. It's the principle of the thing. We should definitely start emptying out all the circuit board, magnetic coil, and gear factory towers. If we can clear them out from the surface of Juno, that would free up a lot of space. The old proliferator factory is pretty much completely empty by now, so we can safely get rid of it. I did end up deleting a couple small stacks of resources, but it was just a drop in the ocean. I also took the time to look around Juno, and do a bit of spring cleaning, getting rid of unwanted resource assignments in towers, demolish old starter base buildings, things like that. These 3 coal nodes near the warper factory has been bothering me since the last episode, so I think we should get rid of them. We cannot place another advanced miner because it would be too close to the nearby tower, but we can do it with basic ones. We will do it in a little bit, but first, it's time we expanded the number of ray receivers. We are once more getting close to the power output of the sphere, so we need to expand to make more photons. Doing this crafting job requires quite a bit of inventory space, so before I got started, I made sure to get rid of as much clutter as I could. Well, we've seen how this works before, so I will speed this one up too if you don't mind. Basically, we feed the ray receivers with the graviton lenses on one side, and take out the generated photons at the other end. Simple. We are generating enough photons to almost reach the end of the collider column meant to process them. Once they are starting to pile up at the end of the belt, we will need to start thinking about building more of them. We've been doing some white science for a while now, but we still have a lot of technologies that require the other cubes. Maybe we should take care of those before we really go too deep into the infinite tech. Given the current research apparatus we possess, it shouldn't take too long. Okay, time to deal with those 3 coal nodes. We should have plenty of basic miners at them all. Uh-oh. We have an attack going on in the Osiris system. It seems the fog managed to make a foothold there too. Good thing we are more than ready to deal with them by now, so we just go there, mop up, and get back to work. Now we just check the local planets to make sure there are no more bases left, and then we can go home. And before you ask, I don't want to spend too much time with the shield emitters right now. Sure, we have them placed down, but they are a bit of a pain to wire up with power. It takes less time to get rid of these early attempts at getting settled in than placing the power poles. Although I did think of a workaround. We could just place individually powered shield emitters. I made an attempt at this a couple episodes ago, and we already have a blueprint for one, but I yet to put it into practice. The only thing holding me back is the way the logistics work in the game. This would only work with interstellar logistics, and that means the vessels would try to bring in 2,000 units of fuel for a single emitter outpost. That's a lot. Until we have a lot more robust fuel generating capacity, it is not really feasible. Unless we use the fusion reactors. That's what I have on the blueprint anyways. Nobody said we have to use the micro suns. That would be a bit of a waste. So, maybe we will start using those in the near future. Instead of feeding power into the emitters from a central location, all individual shield generator will have its own power source on site, with its own personal tower to bring in the fuel. It does take up a bit more space, but it's not all that much in the grand scheme of things. Anyways, the Osiris system is once more dark fog free, so we can go back home. We will need to do it at some point anyway, so how about we do the research speed upgrade now? It would only help to knock out the remaining low tier research faster, so might as well. It seems our rocket production is once more above the launching capacity of the planet, so I think it's time we built more rocket silos. Okay, that was a really sloppy component hunt on my part, but we managed to get 30 more launchers, which should be more than enough. Let's just put the remaining stuff back into storage, and go place the new silos. We are a bit hemmed in on this end. We could continue, the launchers have a pretty generous collision box, but we might as well start a new line coming out the other end of the tower. Alright, that's a lot of extra launching capacity. Should be more than enough to catch up to the rocket production. That's a lot of rockets. And I think I made a mistake when talking about the progress of the sphere construction a while ago. I said we need 1.7 million rockets. That was inaccurate, we need a little over 200,000 of them. That 1.7 million is the number of solar sails we need to fill in the shell. Either way, we are not even halfway through the construction, but I thought I would correct the record. Anyways, this is where we will end this episode. Might not have been as dense as some of the previous ones, but we still did good work. As for the next one, we will likely finish moving things to Miranda. We still have room for one more factory center there, which will likely end up being the electric motors. Placing a couple towers for those should be enough for a good long while. All the stuff we set to be emptied out on Juno are bound to be cleaned out by now, so we can definitely make things look a bit more tidy by removing those. Then, I might spend some time setting up those self-contained shield emitter outposts in some systems, just so we need to worry about the dark fog trying to make a foothold a bit less. Anyways, if you haven't done it already, I would love it if you subscribe to the channel, and clicking the like button will also help letting me know that the video was worth making. If you would like to help me make a living off this one day, please consider becoming a channel member, where you will get an early access to the videos as I make them. And if you want to give a one-time donation, you can find a link to my Ko-fi page in the description. Thank you for your support, and I will see you in the next one.